If you're watching this video, I believe you've made it one of your goals to start your master's journey in the United States. And good news, because you're at the right spot. I did for you. Today, I'm going to be sharing 3 simple tips to help you begin your master's journey to the United States. And be rest assured, it's something that you can do by yourself because I did it myself, and I'll be sharing some of my process and my story so that you can take 1 or 2 things that will help you on your own journey. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out exciting updates that I'll be sharing. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ayebapriye, or you can call me Priye for short. I'm currently studying my master's program in the United States, and I'm here to share my story and my process so you can gain 1 or 2 things that will also be useful to your own process as well. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I have a little surprise for you. Now, the first thing you want to do when beginning this journey is to do some research on the program and the school that you'd like to apply to. You can choose to continue to do what you studied in your undergrad studies, or you can choose to do something more in line with the work that you're doing. For instance, I got a bachelor's degree in English language, and I decided to do my master's in communication because I had over 5 years of experience working in the media and communication industries. So that was like in line with my career path, and I saw a future for myself in the communication industry. When you're doing research about the school, make sure you check out information like if they offer graduate assistantships, because that is very important when you start to school. It takes a huge financial burden off your shoulders. Check for the requirements of the course to see if you are eligible. Check for the documents that they are asking for. Check for the OPT period. Now, OPT period is called the optional practical training period, and it's just basically a period of time that you have to work in the United States after completing your program of study, right? So for STEM courses, which are science courses, they usually have up to 3 years, while for business and humanities, they only have 1 year. So when your 1 year is up, you have to either leave the United States or find a job that will probably sponsor your visa. Another thing you can also do is to check if they have application waiver periods. Application waiver periods are the times when the school decides that, oh, if you apply during this time or during this period, you will waive the application fee for you. So to encourage more people to apply. So you can email the graduate coordinator of the program. Their emails usually be on the program's website, and just find out if they have application waiver period, because it will save you a lot of money, especially because Naira is not smiling and you need to save all the money that you can on this journey. Now, the second thing you want to do is to gather your documents. Typically, schools in the United States for graduate level program, they usually ask for a statement of purpose. They ask for your transcript from your undergraduate school. They ask for test scores, which depends on the program that you are picking. They ask for recommendation letters as well. So you want to put these documents together before you start the application process, which is why it's very important to also note the application deadline so you can plan ahead and break down the whole task into little chunks and you don't get overwhelmed. Just a brief description of the documents. A statement of purpose is the documents where you talk about your interest in the program and how it aligns with your career. You want to make sure that your story is unique and you don't just copy and paste templates that you find online, because it can get you rejected. Secondly, for your transcript, US schools sometimes might require you to evaluate your transcripts through WES. So WES is like an institution that basically evaluates your degree, because it's not from the United States, and provides a US equivalent so that the school can know your educational capabilities. So you can either do a course by course or a document by document evaluation, and it depends on what your program is asking for. Again, make the graduate coordinator of the program your best friend. You can also check out the WES website for more information, and you can ask any questions that you want to know about WES. I'll be in the comments to answer. Quick note on WES. WES takes a bit of time, I think about 3 weeks to a month, to evaluate your degree and provide the results. So you might want to keep that timeline in mind when applying for your master's program so that you do not experience any form of delays. Now, for test scores, it depends on the program again that you're doing. To be honest, I didn't take any test scores. The timing just wasn't working for me. But honestly, I think test scores make your application more competitive. And if your program is requesting for it, if you think you're up to it, I think you should do it, because it will help you learn things like graduate assistantships, along the line. Now, for your recommendation letters, they could ask for recommendation letters from either your professor or your co-worker, which just basically speaks to your capabilities as a person and as a student. So if you're still an undergraduate student, I would advise you to build very good relationships with your professor, because you will need them on this journey. And they have a lot of things to do, and you don't want to just come off as, oh, you're rushing them and everything. So if you already have a good relationship with them, it will help make the process smoother for you. Now, when you're done gathering your documents, you can now begin the application process. To be honest, the application process is not so straightforward, especially because they ask a lot of questions and it's very easy to get overwhelmed. But note that you do not have to complete it in one sitting. You can always save your progress and return to it later. Make sure that you're answering the questions correctly, because if you go and maybe they ask you something and then you go and put no, it can actually affect your application, right? So you want to make sure that you calm down and you answer all the questions properly. Make sure that the documents that you are uploading are the right documents. Make sure that follow up with your recommenders to ensure that they upload their recommendation letters when you need them to. And don't forget to check the status of your application via the application portal, although the school will also send you an email if you get accepted, which I hope you do by the grace of God. I hope you found these tips very helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I'll be answering them for you. Now, I'm moving to another section where I'll be answering some questions about my journey. A while back, I put up a question sticker on my Instagram story. By the way, go and follow my Instagram if you're not following me. It's Ayeba_Priye, and follow if you like what you see. Now, I received a lot of questions about my journey, and I'm going to be answering those questions now. The first one says, what are the requirements to gain admission? So basically, this depends on the program that you're applying for, and you need to check the program's website. But generally, as I mentioned earlier, they ask for a statement of purpose, recommendation letters, transcripts, and test scores. So you want to make sure that you go to that program's website and you actually understand what they're asking for, follow it, and then hopefully you get the admission. Now, the second question says, when is the best time to start the process? So basically, there are two ways of admission for US schools, one for fall, one for spring. I came in fall, and fall admissions usually open from, I think, November period to either February or March, while spring is like January to April. But please visit the school's website to find out the admission periods. Is always going to be there. Another question says, how many schools did I apply to? So I applied to 5 schools. I got admissions and got some denials as well. But I chose the school that offered me a graduate assistantship. So I would advise, as much as possible, please apply to as many schools as you can, because it increases your chances of getting admission and getting a graduate assistantship. Another question says, how much should I budget for the application? So I think normally it would depend. I'm speaking to Nigerians now. It would depend on the condition of the naira, as it's always falling. Anyways, so application fees are usually around $50 to $70. Some schools even charge as much as $100, and I think it's a lot, which is why I say you should always ask if they have application waiver periods, because it will help you save a lot of money. So basically, I spent up to 300K, but you can save about that or 450, depending on the condition of the naira. Another question says, what was the most challenging part of the application? So I would say getting recommendations, and it was not exactly easy because I'd left school like 5 years ago. I was not really in touch with most of my professors, but luckily I got about 2 of them to actually help me out, which I'm so grateful for. And this is why, again, I also say that you should build like a good relationship with your professor. So it's not just out of the blue when you contact them to ask for like recommendations, right? Another question says, how did I go about funding? So basically, my school offers a graduate assistant program called GAP. It opened around February, and they shared like graduate assistant positions that were open for application, right? So I applied to 5 different positions, but I only got 1 interview. And luckily, I was able to do my best in the interview and I landed the role. Glory be to God again. And I got hired, and that was how I was able to come to the United States of America. The last question is, what are the frat parties like? To be honest, I have not attended any of these frat parties because I do not belong to any sororities. Most of the fraternities here are pretty, for lack of a better word, they are very not easy to break into. Especially as I'm an international student who is fighting for her life, and who knows where I'm coming from, so I cannot be running up and down to do parties. But I mean, I hope I get to attend one. I'm open to attending one before I graduate from school. If you made it to the end of this video, Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video very helpful. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you send it to a friend or you save it for later in case you're planning to start your master's journey in the United States. I'll also be in the comments to answer any questions that you might have. Now for the surprise, I've put a link to a drive in the description so you can access schools that offers graduate assistantships in the US to help you streamline your process. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.